Good after morning. Good morning. Um, it's your boy Breaking Snack. I don't feel like waiting for that starting thingy. And today we're gonna try a little something different. We're gonna do we're gonna do trending topics, man. We're gonna watch. Oops. Yo yo, what's poppin', Ben? We're gonna do a little something different today. We're gonna do a little something different. I'm thinking. I've been watching this one guy do some pretty funny shit. And the only way I was finding that out is by watching these trending now things. It's called Google Trends. And if you go on here and you look around and stuff, you can see some pretty funny shit on here. I'm talking like, hold on, let me share this real quick. We're gonna share that real quick. We're sharing that right now, right? All right. So just give me 1 second. My shit's a little slow. You get on here and you can explore what the world is searching for right now, right? You get on here and you can explore and you can see what's trending now. You guys understand this thing. You guys know how this works. Let's get on here real quick. Let's see what's trending right now, okay? Past 24-hour locations, categories, all trends by relevance. Okay. What is this? Diddy. They're not even spelling it right. Diddy Whirly. Today's Whirly. They're not even spelling it right. I think it's just funny like seeing shit like this. But if you look and break it down, that shit's 50K? 50K? What the? Let's search it. Let's see what it's about. It's the word Diddy. That's how they say it. Diddy. All right, you hear that? Diddy. But guess what? It's not what you think it is. Wait, what? What? The song evokes the same reassurance warmth generated by the indelible. I can't even. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I'm not the best reader. But Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, diddly. It's you I like, especially. That's fucking fun. Hold on, no way. Hold on. You gonna read it to me? It doesn't want to. It doesn't even like saying it. Oh well. I thought that was funny. Motherfuckers was looking up some shit like they thought they was finding something out. I thought I was too. Doesn't that suck? We got Chevy Chase, Pakistan versus New Zealand. Hunter King. CN Tower. What happened in CN Tower? Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of fun finding that out. But we're gonna watch some videos, of course. That's what originally this was for. Sorry, I'm trying to put this in here, but I'm having a hard time trying to do it. There we go. There we go. Mudslides in LA. Wow, what's going on out there?
Let's get to the weather. So we begin with a dangerous blast of winter weather in the west. It's a muddy mess in Southern California, especially in communities hit by last month's wildfires. You can see a mud flow gushing over the rocks near the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu. Now, farther north in Oregon, several people were hurt yesterday in a massive pileup caused in part by whiteout conditions. More than 20 vehicles were involved. Rob Marciano is in Altadena for us. Rob, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Nate. Yeah, this storm had all the hazards up and down the West Coast. We are now to Dina, which is near the Eaton Burn Scar area. At one point yesterday afternoon, there were many mudslides happening all over any place that had any sort of hillside. But on this street, this side of the street, it's all burned out. These are all burned out homes. And you can see how mud poured down through those homes and onto this street. But they already brought in heavy equipment to plow things up and pile things up. And there were dramatic scenes on the other side by the Pacific Palisades. This atmospheric river came in with a vengeance.
A fast-moving waterfall of mud filled with debris flooding this Malibu Canyon and trapping drivers on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Another landslide happened. I had to turn around, just waiting to see what the options are and how to get out.
Crews struggling to clear the highway of the runoff during the height of the storm. One LA Fire Department vehicle got sucked out into the ocean. Thankfully, the driver managed to escape injuries. What's there?
You've got
Sorry guys, my shit's just acting fucking retarded, dude. Every time, man. Don't leave your car unattended.
Inside the car thief capital of America. That's that thief car theft capital.
This is a person doing the same thing that I was doing. That's great.
Providence 911, what emergency?
Hey, I tried calling the fire department to see there's a fire in our subdivision, but it may just be them burning brush because they're building houses, but I wasn't sure. We're in the Harris subdivision in Robinson. They said to call to see if somebody had a burn permit.
Okay. Does it look like it's being attended by anybody?
I can't see over there. It's back by the trees. We did have lightning, so that's why I wasn't sure who.
Okay. I can get someone headed out that way to check on it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
April 5th, 2023. Police in Robinson, Texas receive a call about a brush fire on Heston Circle, a residential street just south of Waco. Upon arrival, officers discover something far worse than a brush fire, a human body engulfed in flames, burned beyond recognition.
12 to 04. CID and 04 out here. This looks like a body that's burning. Yeah.
Stand by for fire page. Fire unit, around 2500 block of Yoder Lane, 2500 block of Yoder is going to be the last tree off Heston Circle. Going to be for a subject possibly on fire out of that address. Robinson timeout,
1014. I got to about right here where I hosed it with the fire extinguisher.
Engine 1 to Chief 1. Did you copy all the radio traffic after the page?
I scooch to the side so I can go ahead and get a couple pictures. When I parked here, I was like, all right, that looks like some logs laying there burning. And as I got up close, that looks like a leg laying there. And then I got a little closer, and I'm like, that's a body.
It's scene. Brain is falling steadily.
What is it? 100 miles?
So that's what I'm trying to figure out is your name is Mandy Rose Reynolds.
Sure.
So about 1 o'clock last night, you and were at a rest stop.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes. What? What is the interrogation about?
No, I'm just trying to make sure I understand why.
You know what? That dog, that's my dog you guys have. Let's get that straight, detective.
Okay. And that's fine. I understand that.
You know what? I'll just come to the pound. Goodbye.
Less than an hour later, Detective Perry calls Mandy back.
Mandy?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Detective Perry. I think we got off on the wrong foot. So the reason I'm asking some questions, I'm just going to be upfront with you, okay? We found your dog in a field, okay? In the field was a crime scene of a deceased person. And that is
God.
So I didn't want to give you all the details because that's kind of sensitive, right? But that is why I was asking some questions to verify how the dog got there, what's going on. And so I think it's just fair for me to let you know that information to understand why I'm asking certain questions, okay?
Oh, wow.
So I do apologize. I should have probably told you that easier, but some things you just don't want to disclose to somebody because they might have trauma from the past as well.
Well, sure. And I've just been stressing about Titan, and we paid a lot of money for him, and I mean, geez, I feel good Lord, I just wonder how long he was outside,
So, and now you understand why I was asking questions. I'm just trying to get a timeline of maybe how long even the pup was out.
I'm sorry, sir. Oh wow.
That's okay. That's okay.
I can't even imagine what he went through, and then now there's a deceased person. Like, oh my God.
So, was this last night that Titan ran away?
Yeah, it was just last night.
So, or I guess I should say this morning, you said?
Yeah, it's been about, I don't know, midnight, 1.
Midnight 1?
Honestly, sir, I don't know. It's something like that.
Okay. This number comes back to a different name. Are you on somebody's phone plan?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Whose phone plan are you on?
This would be my fiance's grandfather.
Okay, what's his name?
My fiance's grandfather?
Yes, I just wanted to verify that way I can close that name off.
I'm going to be frank with you, sir. I'm sorry that this happened, but I cannot waste my whole day speaking to you. I'll come get Titan, and
excuse me.
You guys can cross me off your list. I'm sorry that is so unfortunate, but I'm not going to be interrogated when my puppy ran off.
No. I'm just trying to verify, like I said, some information. I'm not.
No, sir. No, sir. You're being you're being very pushy, for one. For two, you're treating me like a criminal. Okay.
You're acting like a criminal.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm really not. I'm just trying to figure out how long the pup was there. That could determine if the puppy messed with the body.
If the puppy messed with the body.
I mean, yeah, dogs are natural scavengers.
You think my little Titan would go? Oh my, detective, with all due respect, do not call me back.
Well, Titan is on a police hold. You're not going to be able to get him out.
Titan is on a police hold?
That is correct.
Well, then I will have my attorney call you.
To the police, something seems off about the conversation.
Dude,
why is Mandy being so defensive? Her story doesn't seem to add up.
Very defensive. What do you guys
Acting
think?
on a hunch,
You guys think that
Robinson police contact authorities in San Marcos, where Mandy lives. Officers conduct a welfare check at her apartment, only to find it completely empty. Her belongings gone, and her black Honda Accord missing. It seems they are now onto something. Who was that person they spoke to on the phone about Titan? Could the crime scene have something to do with Mandy's disappearance? Police run Mandy's vehicle through a license plate reader database and discover it's been spotted in Wichita, Kansas, nearly 500 miles away. A search for her car gets underway. Meanwhile, dental records confirm the burned body is Mandy Reynolds. An autopsy reveals she was shot in the head, and her killer tried to destroy evidence by setting her body on fire in the field. Investigators conclude that Mandy had been burned inside a large plastic storage container, where they also discovered a spent shell casing. Mandy Reynolds was a kind-hearted soul. Her friends and family described her as vibrant, creative, and generous. She had recently opened her home to her cousin, Derek Joseph Dagno, giving him a chance to get back on his feet. What she didn't know was that this act of kindness would have devastating consequences. On April 8th, 2023, Wichita police spot Mandy's missing car. When officers attempt a traffic stop, the driver speeds off, leading them on a high-speed chase that reaches over 100 miles per hour and lasts nearly 30 minutes.
So, suspect vehicle involved in 01, possible 01 suspect in the vehicle. Keep that in mind. I don't know where he's at now. perimeter.
Y'all gotta stay tuned for this next video I was watching on. This last video I was watching on was World War I. It was in Ohio yesterday. I was watching one, and I hope I can find it. I think I saved it.
Lock the Dillons down.
Take us to the backside. They've got 3 up here.
Sure, hold on. I'm approaching 21st Tyler right now.
Take us to the back. Watch that bike.
Do we have suspect description?
He ran into the Dillons.
White belt, white shirt. White shirt.
Oh, he's busting out the big gun.
Get in your car! Get somebody to the rear of the Dillons. Back up, keep coming, back up, they're leaving. Come out! Come out!
Nothing.
Come out! Come out! Come out! Hey, my man, get your family out of here. You're fine. Hey! Come here! Come here! Where'd he go? You didn't see him? Get him.
The chase ends at a grocery store where the driver crashes the car and then flees on foot into the store. He's able to hide for a little over 2 minutes on a shelf behind canned goods before police finally discover and arrest him.
We have people in the store. We have it. 283, we're in the store. Let's get a bunker in here.
Oh, he's over there. I hear something yelling.
Come on! You make any movement, you will be killed.
I got hands.
Crawl out! Crawl out towards the sound of our voice. Somebody get less lethal.
Somebody's got to back off one direction or the other.
Place lethal.
Go ahead.
Crawl out towards us.
You're going to have to move with me. Ready?
Yep.
What? He was all up in there. He was trying to hide in the shadows.
283, clear there.
What?
One in custody.
What?
We need to go with cameras. Make sure you didn't toss anything. Let's get EMS inside for the suspect. Aisle 5 might be withdrawn. Or ODing, sorry. Hey, brother, what'd you take?
What'd you take? You take something?
Could be withdrawn too.
He might have taken
Withdrawn,
something.
could be ODing, could be anything, really.
Alright, so we get my stuff.
Yeah, we gotta go that way.
Someone stay here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, can I get one of you guys to stay here so we can just down our...
Yes.
Thank you.
A lighter fell out of his pocket. That's fine. Just making sure that there's nothing else. If you just leave.
Nutty buddy, dude.
So you calling it? Yeah. Good job, man.
He's identified as Eric Joseph Deck. Mandy's Diagnose's extensive criminal history reveals a troubling pattern of offenses that allowed a dangerous individual to move freely between locations. Tools like truthfinder.com provide a glimpse into this history, tracing his previous locations and possible associates. Through Truthfinder's subscription-based service, public records such as location history, criminal charges, and more become accessible, painting a disturbing picture of a repeat offender who frequently slipped through the cracks of the justice system. This information highlights the importance of understanding someone's background to safeguard personal safety and community well-being. Truthfinder offers anyone, not just investigators or reporters, the ability to access these public records. Whether researching a new acquaintance, a neighbor, or a past connection, it's as simple as entering a name into their database. If you're watching Law and Crime Investigates, you can explore public records yourself. Visit truthfinder.com/LC Investigates to receive 50% off your first confidential background report. The link is in the description below. Don't let the truth stay hidden. Start uncovering it today. Investigators are finally able to connect the dots. Derek had been staying with Mandy in her San Marcos apartment. Just days before the murder, surveillance footage would later show Derek purchasing a gas can, a shovel, and a large plastic container. Derek then murders Mandy in her own home. Investigators would determine that Derek shot her in the head before transporting her body and Titan to Robinson, Texas. Evidence from the car links him to the crime. Inside, they find the pistol used to kill Mandy. In November 2024, Derek Diagnose stood tall for Mandy's murder. The evidence is overwhelming. The surveillance footage, the murder weapon, and his attempts to flee. The jury was presented with his extensive criminal history, which included 9 felony convictions dating back to when he was 15 years old. Among these were violent offenses, such as a shooting he committed in Kansas as a juvenile. It takes the jury just 30 minutes to convict him. He's sentenced to life in prison. After the verdict was delivered, tensions boiled over in the courtroom, leading to a heated argument between members of both families. The conflict escalated when Dagno's brother-in-law attempted to strike someone and was escorted out of the courtroom in handcuffs. He was later released. Through it all, Titan remained a symbol of Mandy's love and loyalty. He refused to leave her side, even in death, and his presence was key to uncovering the truth. A GoFundMe has also been set up after her death. A motive hasn't been identified, but authorities learned Mandy had recently moved from Idaho to San Marcos, Texas, to be closer to her best friend. Filled with excitement for her future, she was considering college and had so much to look forward to. But Derek, under false pretenses, reached out to Mandy, leading her to travel to Kansas to bring him back to Texas for what she thought would be a brief visit. Little did she know she had invited a killer into her home. The story of Mandy Rose Reynolds is one of heartbreak and betrayal,
so crazy,
but also of resilience and loyalty. It reminds us of the unbreakable bonds we share with each other and with the animals who love us unconditionally.
Wow. Anyway, that's the end of that. By the way, if you guys want to read up on this and check it out, it is Dog Exposed Killer's Owner After Horrific Murder. And it's going to be in the Law and Crime. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because these guys are awesome. I love watching them. I love following them. I love them. Anyway. Oops. Now there's this one I wanted to show you guys that was pretty crazy that I watched last night. That I don't mind watching again. Oh shit, wait. Let's not do that. Watch a lot of does. I'm a fucking idiot. Don't. There it is. I gotta go to my history. I think it was that one. No, wait, it was the other one. It was in Ohio. It was in Ohio. It was in Ohio. It was in Ohio. Sorry. Fuck! Ah, this thing's irritating me, lightweight. Makes my stream go very slow. Right here. This happened in Ohio. The case of Donovan Nicholas.
I just killed my mother. It wasn't me who killed her. It was Jeff.
Oh God, no. This ain't happening.
He killed her. He snapped.
Shane?
On Thursday, April 6, 2017, Shane Nicholas races toward home after getting word from a family member that there was a growing police presence at his house. He knows very little about the situation as he answers the distressing phone call that will change his life forever. The following report is based on police records, and most of the audio has never been heard before.
This was 6 months ago. This one's better. I try to watch the ones that are like 6 months in advance. Something that's like in between a few months and so I can look up shit that's like newer, but
And I still got tons of people that are eating on my soul right now.
Oh my God.
I knew if I did not take out his soul, he was coming to take mine next. He died.
On the night of February 2nd, 2013, officers with the Lancaster Police Department respond to a call informing them that a suspect who committed a horrendous act was sitting in a stolen truck just outside his residence. Despite their efforts to coax him out of the truck, he suddenly takes off, leading police on a dangerous high-speed chase. As the suspect turns a corner, he can be seen jumping the curb and driving at dangerous speeds down a residential sidewalk. However, this is still only the beginning of the strange turns and bizarre events this case is going to expose.
Lord, what is going on?
Events leading up to this moment began hours ago when an emergency call was placed to Somerville County dispatchers.
911, where's your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I need an ambulance out to Rough Creek Lodge and Resort.
Okay, Rough Creek Lodge. And what's going on?
I just had a report of 2 men out of my long-range shooting range.
Deputies arrived to find 2 deceased men with multiple gunshot wounds, lying near a scattering of shell casings. The suspect had fled the scene in a truck belonging to one of the victims, and his identity is unknown. The Texas Rangers are called to investigate and informed that one of the victims is a widely known public figure. Immediately, news of his death begins to spread like wildfire. The suspect would soon be identified, as his sister would call 911 to say her brother, 25-year-old Eddie Ray Routh, came to her home and confessed to the killings before fleeing once again. She then called her mother, Jody, who contacted Detective Chevra, Eddie's next-door neighbor and friend. Upon learning Eddie was involved, he races to his home to search for him. It isn't long before he pulls up to the home in the stolen truck with no intention of surrendering.
Watch it. He's got a rifle here. Careful. Hey, it's fucking great. He's got a lot on him. Back it up. He's backing up. Hey, he's got the gun. It's done. Got a lot on him. Give me a lot on him. Give me a lot right on him.
In a situation that is only going to grow more tense, officers don't know yet that they've barely scratched the surface of this sinister case and its peculiar suspect.
Watch it. See. Eddie! 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 Turn it off, Eddie! Turn it off, Eddie! Turn it off! Eddie! Turn it off, please! Eddie! It's Sergeant Logan! Turn off the truck, guys. Come talk to you. Come on with your hands open, buddy. It's not worth it. I'm gonna shoot out the tires. Eddie! Don't get him beside you. Eddie! Eddie, don't go nowhere. Eddie! Eddie! Come on, guys. Eddie! Come talk to me. Come on out, Eddie! Come talk to us! Keep it. Eddie, come talk to us! Come on, Eddie!
The officers appear on edge, knowing there are firearms inside the truck. Given his friendship with the suspect, officers quickly call on Detective Chevra to step in, seemingly hopeful that he may be able to de-escalate this outlandish situation.
Keep your hands right there, man. Hey, let TT talk. Let Jesse talk to you. Jesse, come here. Jesse, gonna talk to you. Eddie. All right, look, guys. I know this looks really bad right now, but we're all scared here too. Hey, do me a favor. If you can hear me clearly, just shut the truck off for a minute. While you talk to me, okay? Turn it off for a minute. Turn it off for a second. Turn it off and talk to me, okay? We're trying to figure it out right now, okay? We're trying to figure it out right now. So right now, the best thing for everybody is you step out of the truck with your hands open so we can see, everybody can relax, okay? Now, I want you to open the door very slowly, come out with your hands straight up, and come talk to me, okay? Eddie, I don't want to hurt you, Eddie. Okay, we all grew up together here. Listen to me, buddy. Okay, this is going to be bad for everybody if you don't do as I asked you. Trust me, because your parents are going to do what you've heard if we don't get this thing resolved peaceably, okay?
Detective Chevra continues pleading with Eddie, but his paranoid behavior seemingly has the other officers on high alert.
Throw me the keys out here as a gesture that you're not going to run off while I try to get them down here, make this trip, try to get down here, okay?
Get ready to block him. You hear me?
No.
Get somebody around here and block it. No, don't block it yet. Just get ready to block.
Okay,
get ready to block.
Find that out together. Okay. You have no reason not to trust me here. Okay. What are you talking about?
There's no trust in this world anymore.
Uh-huh. It went down so fast, I didn't really even have a chance to realize what was happening. And now I just don't even know if I can trust doctors, cops. I don't know. Well, the people... I tried to talk to my sister today, and it was weird talking to them. I tried to talk to my uncle later this afternoon. It was weird talking to him.
After fleeing the crime scene, Eddie made multiple stops, details of which remain unknown for now. During the standoff, his seemingly unstable state of mind becomes increasingly evident.
Is this about like hell walking on earth right now? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but hell's walking on earth with us right now.
Telling me to walk over to the house and talk to him.
He is nutty, dude. Let me tell
Well, what
you.
I'm trying to tell you is I'll walk over here to your house or your front yard, and my hands will be open and your hands will be open, and we can talk about this, and we can call your mom and dad on my phone, and you can tell them that you need to see them.
None of my friends are in town anymore. I've been looking for all my friends. My family, they're disappeared.
While it appears Detective Chevra remains hopeful he can reason with Eddie, other officers consider a riskier approach.
Yes, and I guarantee you that.
Cops, man. These cops, they don't ever work together.
Hold the light on him. If his knees up right there.
Okay, yes, you're
Tase his ass.
But if I get your parents on the phone and get them to come down here and get here 2 or 3 hours, will you come with me and wait with you till they get there?
The two victims, who were close friends, were identified as 35-year-old Chad Littlefield and 38-year-old Chris Kyle, author of the best-selling memoir American Sniper. Chris had recently gained national attention due to the upcoming film adaptation of his book. Eddie's horrifying reasons for turning on them remain to be seen. For now, the focus shifts to de-escalating the baffling situation officers have found themselves in with Eddie, though their presence only seems to heighten Eddie's paranoia.
I've been watching it on the news for weeks, or 2-3 days now, Jesse. The anarchy has been killing the world. I'm going to call your parents, okay? But if they're going to agree to come down, are you listening to me? People sneaking around the truck. They need to stop sneaking around the truck. I don't know what's going on. Give me a second, okay? Okay. But here. Can I get that light off my face for a second? Okay, but hear me out, okay? We need to see your hands, okay? We need to see that you are at peace and we can relax. What could help it? We can turn the light off if you'll do this. If you drop that window over and put your hands on the steering wheel, and then we can drop the light so we can kind of not put it in your eyes, okay? I can't drop the window because then y'all win. How do we win, Eddie? If I drop the window up far enough, y'all are going to take me out of this truck. No, Eddie, no. I'm not going to walk up there and yank you out of the truck and not as anybody else either, okay? Eddie, don't do that. Let me call your parents. We'll call them and get them on the phone and get them down here. Okay.
Do you think he's going to roll the window down with the taser?
I'm going to call, okay?
With the possibility that his parents may be able to calm him down, Detective Chevra gets Eddie's mother, Jody, on the phone.
Eddie, I'm going to tell her what we talked about, okay? Hey, Jody? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Eddie doesn't know what's going on. We don't know exactly what's going on either, but here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get Eddie to come out of the truck and come with us, but here's the deal. Eddie said he will come out of the truck. If you guarantee you'll come down tonight and he wants to see y'all. I'm trying to talk to him into coming with me, be safe and secure till you get here so you don't have to rush and be worried about him, something happening. Because you can't tell what's going on here over the phone. I can't trust that, Mom.
Do you want to talk to Daddy?
Yeah, I don't even know if I can trust him or not. Eddie, have I ever given you a reason not to trust me in anything? Yes. When? These past couple of days, it's going to get so crazy around here, I don't know what to do. Whatever the situation, I'm not going to guide you wrong. Okay? I'm not going to do that, Eddie. Only thing we can do at this point is go forward and go up with the situation up in a way that's going to be best for you, for your parents, me, everybody around us.
His dog.
And his dog.
Yeah.
Despite the combined efforts of Jody and Detective Chevra, Eddie still refuses to leave the truck. He's clearly on edge, and it won't be long before his paranoia will reach a breaking point.
Do y'all have any guns? Do we have guns? Well, we have to. It's our job. I do too. It's my job.
Okay, well, that's a good possibility you do, but we don't want to show our guns, or you don't want to show yours.
We don't need that.
No, we don't. There you go. See, we agree on the same thing.
Well, if that's not a problem, then I'm going to crank this truck and move forward.
Eddie, don't do that, Eddie.
I can't keep sitting here watching these cats scurry by and they're moving all around me that I don't even know about.
Eddie, don't crank that truck up because I know you probably want to go to your house, but I'm worried that before you get to your house, you will make a decision and keep going. And we don't want to do that, Eddie.
A sudden movement by Eddie sets the surrounding officers on high alert.
Hey, Eddie, what's that? You got a phone?
Yes, sir.
Tell him you'll walk to the house with him. He's on the phone with somebody. He's on the phone with somebody.
Looks like he answered it.
Right.
Do you think that door's locked?
Right.
Yeah, he lost it.
He's on the phone.
He reached up and lost it.
He has a phone now.
Though the officers were unaware at the time, the cell phone Eddie answered did not belong to him. On the other end of the line was a man named Chet, attempting to reach one of the victims, Chad Littlefield. In a later interview, Chet explains the chilling encounter.
I picked up the phone and called Chad. Immediately he picked up the phone. It was that, first thing, and he knows my name, and I don't know if that's why, or he picked up the phone, and I said, Chad, this is Chet. What is going on? Is everything okay? And he answered back, what do you mean, what's going on? And I said that I noticed the voice wasn't Chad, and I said, this is not Chad. I said, who is this? And he said, this is Eddie. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, Eddie, I must have their whole phone number. And hung up.
And tell me how it is that you know Eddie.
Well, his sister used to babysit my kids. I know his mom and his dad. His mother teaches at my kid's school. And if I would have only known that was Eddie Ralph on the end of the phone that I talked to.
While Chet's connection to Eddie is clear, the relationship between Eddie and the victims, Chad and Chris, remains a mystery. How they ended up together this fateful night and what transpired between them will soon come to light.
Okay.
In the meantime, Eddie has been in the truck for nearly 30 minutes, and the tense situation is moments away from exploding
By
into
the way, everybody, happy
chaos.
Valentine's.
Have you thought of anything that would maybe
Happy
work this thing out to where we could kind of, me and you go together and then wait for your mom and dad? Mom and dad, excuse me, I got some gas here. Have you thought of anything?
Till somebody blocked that car off. It's turning.
Okay, we can just make sure they don't do me a favor, Eddie. I'm not trying to treat you like a kid, but we want to relax and we don't want to misinterpret something. So just kind of
Yes.
keep your hands up the way you've been doing, and just so we can see and we can all relax a little bit, okay?
That's when you consider that we definitely invite them. That's why I'm.
Well, no, because then we can't hear you if you try to call me because it's so loud. This diesel's so loud.
If I need you, I'll turn it off and talk to you.
Eddie, 5 minutes, Eddie. Okay?
Without warning, Eddie steps on the gas and flees the scene. Ten minutes later, the vehicle's tires are damaged from the stop sticks that the officers had placed. The vehicles come to a complete stop immediately after.
What's happening in the world right
Eddie,
now? See all these
it's going to be all right, Eddie, okay? Just
I don't understand.
I know we don't either, but we're going to work this thing out, okay?
It's in the right part. We've already covered. I don't understand why the world is already
As Eddie is checked for injuries by paramedics, an officer poses an important question.
Eddie, why'd you run? I'm never panicky back the whole goddamn. I don't know the best of the phone roll right now. I can't even sleep zone out. I was raised in, you know.
With Eddie secured in custody, he's brought to the station for an interview. While he awaits questioning, Eddie begins to speak to an officer sitting off camera. His bizarre comments hinting that the following interrogation will be anything but ordinary.
Everybody knows it's the right thing to do this, so you know what I mean?
What you said?
The right things and the wrong things to do in the world.
Yeah.
There is certain things you gotta start doing. I just hope my mom and dad aren't too late, you know? To see it.
They won't be.
Why is this world, why?
Eddie.
Why didn't we see it coming before?
But you know what? You're asking questions that have already been asked many times. And the world keeps going.
Ranger Briley soon enters, appearing ready to get to the bottom of today's tragedy.
And talk with you a little bit this evening. And, I ain't had a rough time. I have been having a pretty rough time of it, you know? I just want to
Happy Valentine's Day,
sit
get
in here and visit with you and talk to you about it, see what I can do. Is there anywhere you can get these taken off?
I'll have to talk to these guys about doing that.
That steak looks delicious.
Still trying to find out a lot of stuff, but
Me too.
let me.
I'm trying to find out more about the world that I've been living in too.
Ranger Briley next reads Eddie his Miranda rights, but his response is only the beginning of the unsettling answers that soon follow.
You understand those rights? I go around and talk to people a lot,
And I never knew that counseling was more, you know, counseling between men and women needed to be more heavy in the world than it did. But when you're surrounded on all fronts where you begin, you can't just start in one place, you know.
Right. You understand those rights, and you're okay with talking with me, right?
What? I've been living with somebody with their hand in my ass my whole life.
Yeah.
You know?
Baby.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. That is not right.
Somebody doing that to you.
So sad how it had to happen and stuff, you know, and how it did happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I just wish it would stop, you know. Is there world councils that can speak about this?
I just want to pause this real quick and show y'all what my wife just did for me real quick. As you know, she loved me. Steak and eggs and potatoes. Yeah, baby.
there has to be.
There has to be to keep people accountable.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Evidently, you know.
You're right.
For stuff like this that people that you can't walk on common ground with because they never walked on the same ground with you, you know what I mean?
Right.
With Eddie making little sense, Ranger Briley appears to formulate an idea for what could possibly explain his odd behavior.
Was there a time today you used any drugs?
Yeah, I did use some tobacco today.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at your eyes a little bit constricted. I thought maybe you might have used some methamphetamine or something today.
I had not.
Oh, you had not?
I did not.
Okay. Have you used
That's why I've been having such a hard time sleeping, because I haven't been taking drugs and I can't sleep at night.
Though Eddie claims that he hasn't consumed substances aside from tobacco, the question was likely posed due to what was uncovered during a search of his residence. Among the items found in his home were a blue jean jacket with possible bloodstains, firearm ammunition, and a small box containing paraphernalia.
Was there a bong, like a drug bong, in some of your stuff?
Tobacco.
Is that what was in the bong? Is that true or not? I don't know. You know, you have to be truthful with me. If it wasn't, just be truthful. What was in that bong?
There's probably some pot in there too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of pot.
All right. And what else?
You know, can't trust anything in Texas with weed in it, because it's usually laced up so tied with different drugs.
Had you used it today?
Yeah.
And you're being truthful with me?
Yes, sir. I smoked a little bit today. I've got so many abandonment issues and trust issues here that I don't know what to think, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having these problems in my town since I was growing up, you know, since a boy. I'm trying to fix this that's wrong in our country right now. Evidently, the Communism Party wants to run rampant in America. The communism times are here upon us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The Reds are already eating up all the Indians. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that can't eat the Indians that won't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have problems about.
Eddie would later admit that he thought his neighbors were bloodthirsty savages and cannibals, and believed that his excrement would travel to his neighbor's home through the sewers, where his neighbor would eat it. As Ranger Briley continues to navigate Eddie's confusing rhetoric, the focus of the conversation shifts to the crime that brought them here in the first place.
I want to talk about what happened. And you can start with when you woke up today.
Well, you know, I keep talking to Chris, you know. I keep talking to Chris in my world, and it seems like every time I talk to another man named Chris, I just get sent to another man named Chris. I think about talking to the wolf, you know, to the one in the sky. The ones in the sky are the ones that fly, you know what I mean? The pigs in the world. They can truly say they're pigs. I've been smelling it this whole time, you know. I'm just tired of everybody bullshit. I can smell bullshit pigs, you know. I can tell the difference between two different kinds of pigs. I don't know about how you can smell your I mean, I'm not trying to say nobody's stinking, but stinking, you know what I mean?
And what exactly happened today after you woke up?
Dude's fucking
I'm finally getting rest. Peace in my mind, you know?
Yeah.
Pieces of my mind back that I won't ever get back.
Where are you from? I mean, I don't know you. You understand that? I don't know where you're from.
I was born right here in this land, in Lancaster that we're standing in today. Lancaster, Texas.
In an interview with Eddie's parents, his mother Jody begins to elaborate on her son's history as a United States Marine and the experiences that would later entwine tragically with the fate of the two victims.
I believe after 9/11 happened, he really wanted to serve his country. I say I believe because he never told me that straightforward. After it happened, he really became more patriotic and cared more about his country, and he wanted to serve. And he looked at the Army, looked at the Marine Corps, and decided he wanted to be a Marine.
Thank you, baby.
He was out of high school for, I think it was only 10 days. He graduated, and 10 days later, he was on a plane to boot camp.
What did you do in the Marine Corps?
I worked as a prison guard, and I worked on the gun, so it's like tit for tat, you know.
Eddie's work as an armorer and prison guard was served overseas in Iraq, where his father, Raymond, explains he went on several combat missions.
He really didn't want to talk about it when he got back.
Yeah.
Like most of them do. The only time I could get anything out of him when he was drinking. And then I could get some stuff out of him, but it wasn't very much.
Who's saying who's right and who's wrong? You know, nobody wants to admit that they're right. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to admit that they're wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm the only man that can change it. Yeah. That's why he's there behind my back right now. Yeah.
It was when Eddie returned from a volunteer mission in Haiti after the earthquake of 2010 that they began noticing significant changes in his mental state.
He was there for, I want to say, almost 6 months.
6 months. Do you remember any letters he wrote you telling you what was going on there?
Yeah, he was telling us he's picking up dead bodies with a grappling hook, dragging them out of the water and then throwing them in a front end loader and then loading them up in the dump truck and then putting them in a grave.
They further explained that when Eddie returned, he began having nightmares and flashbacks. What truly alarmed them, however, was his apparent descent into dangerous delusions.
He asked me like to feel of his muscles, and I felt of his muscles, and he said, they're going away, Mom. My muscles are going away. They're disappearing. I said, well, son, your muscles, you're fine. Your muscles are fine. And he said, no, I got a tapeworm, and it's eating me alive.
Eddie soon began expressing thoughts about taking his own life. At the VA hospital, he was diagnosed with PTSD, prescribed medication, and released back into the care of his parents. However, he would soon return to the hospital, as Eddie's rampant paranoia would only escalate, and the next time, it wouldn't be his own life he would threaten. Meanwhile, Ranger Briley has yet to uncover how Eddie wound up at the firing range with Chris and Chad, likely prompting his next question.
How did you meet Chris? He was the one that was protecting the schools. My mom, she was a teacher. School teacher? I finally met the guy. I could smell him, I smelled it for what he was worth. I was like... What's his last name? He was a Kyle. Kyle? Yeah, he was Kyle. Alright. And what's that other guy's name? I couldn't even remember. And when was the first time you met the other guy? First time I ever met either one of them was yesterday. I didn't know who they were or not, Yeah. Okay. I knew who they were, but I didn't know, who they were. Okay. It's very evident now who they were because I'm obviously here on the top side of the world. So, yeah, they're not.
The revelation that Eddie knew neither of the victims further deepens the mystery of how they ended up at the firing range together. The devastating truth would soon be revealed. For now, Ranger Briley further questions Eddie, while his answers continue to blur the lines of reality.
How did you meet them? Did you meet them at your house, or did they came and got me at my house? So, and then where did they take you? We drove down into the country out there, and then they went and did some shooting sports. What kind of shooting sports? Well, I imagine they're headhunters. Trying to hunt everybody down that did them wrong before. I'm not trying to hunt down anybody that I did wrong. Are you? I'm like, I try to be as reasonable and normal as I can. I try to be as normal and as reasonable as I can every day, and I think about it every day, and I'm like, I'm pretty damn reasonable. Yeah. I'm pretty damn fair. Right. What happened out there today on the shooting sports? What kind of guns? I was reasonable and fair with them boys, They looked at me in the eyes, I looked at them in the eyes, and then... And what happened to them today from your perspective? Well, I can't just keep eating my soul up about this, You're right. And you can't just keep letting people eat your soul up for free,
What?
It's not what it's about. It's about having the soul that you have in you for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And I still got tons of people that are eating on my soul right now. I haven't even been able to sleep. Because I've been waiting for them to come back and get my soul.
Okay.
Despite continued outpatient treatment with the VA hospital, Eddie's paranoid behavior continued to decline, as his father Raymond explains.
We was at the lake and he started talking about a demon coming out in him. Then he started telling me he was a vampire, and then he told me he was a werewolf. And I looked around one time, and he had my pistol. I had to go get my pistol away from him. I unloaded it and put it in the trunk. Went back out there, he had it again, and I took it back away from him, and I took all my bullets and threw it in the lake because he was saying he wanted to blow his brains out. And I asked him why. He was going, Dad, I don't know. There's something in my head telling me I need to go. And I said, well, son, you can't do it on my watch. You know, a dad can't watch his own son die.
Eventually, Eddie's mental state reached a dangerous breaking point. Jody describes one terrifying incident on January 17th, just 2 weeks before the shootings, in which he held both his girlfriend and her roommate, Jen, hostage.
So he was over there with her, and he just became very paranoid that somebody was trying to get in and hurt her and her roommate. And Jen kept saying, nobody's trying to get us, you know, we're fine. And then he went and got a knife from the kitchen and was guarding the door. Said he wasn't about to let anybody hurt her. He'd hurt her first before he let someone else hurt her.
According to the roommate's statement, Eddie made multiple threatening comments and refused to let either of them leave. She secretly sent texts to her friend, who contacted the police. They arrived shortly after, arresting Eddie.
It was actually a former Marine police officer that came, and she told him that she wasn't as fearful for herself as she was for him. She was more afraid for his safety. So he transported him over to Green Oaks Hospital there in Dallas, and they kept him overnight. And the next day, and on Monday, they transferred him over to the VA.
Eddie was discharged from the VA hospital the following Thursday, January 31st, 2 days before the tragic shootings took place. As the interview continues, Eddie's confusing explanations continue to muddy the events at the firing range.
What did these guys say to you today when you were with them? What did they tell you?
They didn't really talk to me about much, you know. They were just talking about like common man, you know.
Yeah, tell me what they said to you.
Well, you can't walk around as a common man in a world of snakes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Is that what they told you?
If that's what the world's seen me as,
I want you to tell me
or a mistake. I'm not a mistake. I'm tired of missing out on my life because of it.
I want you to tell me what these men told you today, these heroes you were with. Tell me what they told you today.
Well, you know, they're telling me about, you know, stuff they've done, stuff they've experienced and stuff. Well, I've already seen that stuff on the other side of the pond.
You have?
Yeah. And I came back to this one, and it's happening more and more rampant, even more here in Lancaster than anywhere. Mm-hmm. You know.
And how are they helping you today?
Who's that? Which men?
The men that you killed. How are they helping you today? When they were talking to you?
Talking to me pretty about it, you know. Pretty.
What did they say?
Neither side was being nice about it, you know.
Though Eddie's explanations remain unclear, his mother, Jody, was able to explain the heartbreaking truth of how he came to meet Chris and Chad, and what they may have been doing together at the firing range.
It was the day he ended up getting out of the hospital. Chris Kyle's children went to the school where I work, and he would drop them off every morning where I had duty. And I knew he helped veterans with PTSD. So I opened the car door when his kids got out, opened the front door, and I said, hey, Mr. Kyle, do you still work for, you know, the company that helps veterans with PTSD? And he said, yes, ma'am, I do. I said, well, my son's very sick, and he really needs help, and we're just not getting the help we need at the VA. I explained to him kind of what had been going on with Eddie. A lot of the things I just told you.
You need to tell me.
And I said, he just needs help so desperately. I'll do any work. Yeah, Ms. Routh, I will do everything in my power happy that somebody.
You need to tell me that this man was only in this man's life to try to help him, and he ends up killing him because of He was just trying to help him. That's insane. Quite sad, to be honest.
Some person that I don't really even know if was willing to help my son. And he said, then he goes, I'm going to get together with Eddie this weekend. And I said, that'll be good. That'll be really good. And the next day was the 2nd of February. And I didn't even know really that Mr. Connell was coming to get Eddie. That they had talked and set this up to go out to the gun range.
While on the way to the firing range, Chad and Chris would send text messages to one another. The haunting details of what they discussed would soon send chills down the investigators' spines. In the meantime, though, the mystery of how they met Eddie is resolved. The question of why he shot the two men remains to be seen.
What do you think should happen? Nothing. Keep covering it up forever. That's the reason you fled, right? Because you knew it was wrong? Well, I knew that there was certain that was wrong about it. Some of that certain was killing him. You knew that was wrong, right? Right. And you knew driving away, taking that truck was wrong. And where did you drive to after that? Well, if I was so right, I should have just stayed.
Although Eddie will soon reveal his motives, his cryptic explanations will leave investigators struggling to make sense of them. For now, the puzzling details surrounding the incident finally begin to come together.
Woo! I bet you it's getting stanky.
Them today. A couple few shots were fired. How close were you to them?
Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta rewind this.
I was right up close to them. I didn't mean to be so close.
I didn't hear that part.
Driving away. That's the reason you.
Spines. In the meantime, though, the mystery of how they met Eddie is resolved. The question of why he shot the two men remains to be seen.
You know, what you did today is wrong, right? You understand that? Yes, sir. What do you think should happen? Nothing. Keep covering it up forever. That's the reason you fled, right? Because you knew it was wrong? Well, I knew that there was certain that was wrong about it. Some of that certain was killing him. You knew that was wrong, right? Right. And you knew driving away, taking that truck was wrong. And where did you drive to after that? Well, if I was so right, I should have just stayed.
Although Eddie will soon reveal his motives, his cryptic explanations will leave investigators struggling to make sense of them. For now, the puzzling details surrounding the incident finally begin to come together.
How many times did you shoot them today? A couple few shots were fired. How close were you to them? I was right up close to them. I didn't mean to be so close, but did they know you were going to shoot them? They didn't know. Why do you think that? Because their training wasn't as good. My training's been better, my life.
While they may not have known Eddie's intentions, they were wary of his behavior. At 2:30 p.m., Chris sent a text to Chad saying, "This dude is straight up nuts." Chad responded, "Sitting behind me, watch my six," which is military slang for watch my back. Soon after, Eddie opened fire. Chris and Chad were each shot 6 times at close range, with some shots being fired after they'd fallen to the ground. Eddie then fled the scene, making several stops afterward. Eddie first went to his Uncle James' house, where he showed him the firearm used to shoot the men, with claims he was driving a dead man's truck. Next, he stopped at his sister's house, where he confessed to the horrific crimes. He then went to his house to pick up his dog. From there, he visited a Taco Bell restaurant before finally returning to his house, where the standoff began. In a haunting confession, Eddie finally shares his twisted reasons for pulling the trigger.
Who did you shoot first? The ones that I could identify with better. Clearly identify. The one that I could clearly identify. I knew if I did not take out his soul, he was coming to take mine next. Or one of his gangsters was coming to take one of my souls next. One of his kids' gangsters.
What?
As the interview ends, it appears as though a few questions still linger on Ranger Briley's mind.
You tried to run from the police. I heard them talking to you, trying to get you to give up. What I heard them saying is, just come get out. Surrender, right?
So they're saying.
Why weren't you compliant? Because of what happened? Okay.
Yep.
What do you want to tell your mom?
I love her.
What do you tell your sister?
I love her too.
Do you wish this had never happened? Seemed like you want to cry about it.
I do a little
I see the water in your eyes.
Yeah.
If you could take it back, you would?
As Ranger Briley leaves the room, Eddie once again chats with the officer just off camera, sure to leave him with a lasting impression.
So is there anybody we can talk to about getting these cuffs off and let me get a smoke, or?
That dude that just left. That's who's going to be doing all the talking to.
We might have to go outside and smoke some, so.
You ain't got no cigarettes.
I'll have some before long. It's only a matter of time,
Where you going to get cigarettes from?
They're coming.
Okay, you get some Boudin ice cream coming too?
Yeah.
Man, I'm eating all night.
You got plenty to eat on there. I don't got nothing to eat on, I don't eat none of my soul today. Everybody just keeps eating off my soul. So, for that I say, y'all can eat y'all can eat my die. Try to eat my soul. Eat and die. When pigs fly, eat and die.
Charged with 2 counts of capital murder,
What
Eddie
the
is soon transported
fuck?
to the county jail to await trial. According to court documents, he was overheard by a deputy saying, "I shot them because they wouldn't talk to me," adding, "I'm sure they've forgiven me." Eddie entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. At his trial, experts presented conflicting views, some supporting and others questioning Eddie's state of mind during the incident. The jury ultimately found him guilty of 2 counts of capital murder, and on February 24, 2015, 25-year-old Eddie Ray Routh was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole and ordered to pay $116,250 in restitution. Though he appealed the conviction in December 2015, the sentence was upheld. He's currently imprisoned at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice in Rocheron, Texas.
Jesus Christ. That's fucking nuts, guys. Well, I think that's it for today. I'll be back on later with some video games. But for now, I am done. I need to take a break. I'll be back on later, guys.